Hello snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to take a look at snowboard outerwear and how trashed it gets in a 100+ day season. Now I've got multiple pieces of outerwear that I've ridden for many seasons and stuff that's still new, and we're just going to take a quick look at it to see where it breaks down, where it's failed, and where it's actually held up, and what you can expect out of 100+ days on your outerwear. Throughout this video, we're going to be looking at multiple pieces of L1 outerwear, 686, Air Blaster, and this is all just stuff that I ride on a regular basis, stuff that's out there in the elements from October all the way into June a lot of the time. First up, we have the L1 Slim Chino. This pant has been what I've been riding for years. I think this is actually my third pair of these, and I've been riding L1 pants for about 16 years. They're just celebrating their 20th anniversary, so I know what I'm going to get. I know how they're going to fit, and this is a 2020 rated pant. These have about 2.5 seasons. There's some slight sun fade on the top of the pants from sitting in the chairlift. There's some minor scuff marks along the cuff, and I did blow the side seam, which I've sewn back a few times, and I'll sew it again one more time. It just blows out. It's an easy, quick fix. I like the way that these actually fit. They kind of just hug my hips, and then they're not so tight that they're a skinny pant, but they're not so baggy that they're just like what all the kids are riding. It just looks a little more tailored. It's kind of my style. That's what I like about L1. They have more of a timeless style to it. So what's cool about these is that you do have a full crotch vent. It really just helps them air out. You got zippered pockets on the front, and then you've got your zippered pockets on the back as well. Although I never use these rear pockets. I mean, why would I put a wallet back there? That's gonna hurt if I fall on my ass. One of the cool features with these is you do have this snap on the gaiter to the pant cuff. It just allows it to help stay in there so you're not tripping over the cuff of your pants. You do get that small side boot zip just to open up the cuff. Overall, these pants always last. I end up with just minor little tears in them, and usually the reason that I retire them is the waterproofing's worn out. I'm gonna wash these with Tech Wash just to bring back some of that waterproofing. I should be able to get another season, which will probably be about another 150 days on these before I have to retire them. Overall, for the $200 that I paid for these, I think that I got my money's worth, knowing that I'll have probably over 500 days on them. Next up, I have my Dino Flage vest from Air Blaster. I kind of picked this up just for a spring riding vest or pre-season, something simple like that. It's reversible. It does have snaps for a closure. 3 of the snaps have actually started to wear out. They just don't stay closed if the wind catches them. I believe this was like a 10K. Can't really remember. I've had it for years at this point. But it's cool because it's got little dinosaurs in the camouflage print. It is fully reversible too, which really helps you if you ollie over a slow sign and ski patrol tries to chase you. You make it to the bottom, you flip the vest inside out. You're a completely new person. They're not going to catch you. Overall, the quality of this has always held up. Other than those snaps, I haven't had any tears. None of the seams have popped on it. It's just been a really good vest. So here we have the L1 Ellis Puffy jacket from, I believe it was 2017. And this thing has seen some shit. It's a 1010 rated puffy jacket, and it's basically been relegated now to being my go out and walk the dog jacket unless it's super cold. But the cuffs have started to wear on it. I actually blew the internal piece right there, the seam for the armpit. I spilled a bunch of motor oil on it by accident. Luckily it didn't catch on fire. And then on the back, there's some serious wear marks. I got dragged by a rope tow as a joke for my friends. So I just held on to it on Storm King at Copper all the way to the top and was just like going back and forth on my back, trying to get my friends to laugh at it. So it kind of wore it out, gave it a little bit of a thinner coat. The waterproofing's completely dead on this thing at this point. There's just no real hope for it, you know. It's, like I said, seen some serious shit. This was a great jacket, and I actually have replaced it with a new puffy, but, you know, as you can see, it's blown apart. The good thing is this thing has always stayed warm. It's, I think, 400 gram polyfill or 800. It just couldn't be any more warm. It's awesome. I would usually just ride this thing with a t-shirt underneath in like negative 20-degree days out here in Colorado, and it did such a good job. This is the L1 Horizon jacket. It's a 2020 rated, 150 gram filled puffy jacket. This replaced my Ellis, and unfortunately I speared it the first week I had it and actually had to put seam tape back there and stitch that up on it. Otherwise, it's been a pretty solid jacket. I will say the material is a little thin at times. So like if there's stuff that can stick out, like right here on the sleeve, I've got a little pin prick in there. This jacket probably has about 60, 65 days on it. I'm honestly not worried about getting another 60, 65 days out of this, other than the small little tears that it seems to be getting from the rough pine needles from the beetle kill when I'm riding trees. It always seems to just get poked and spear itself on there. It's not as warm as my previous puffy jacket, so I end up having to wear a little bit more layers on it, but I really do love L1. The critically taped seams have all held up. The pit vents haven't blown out. The internals are still super solid. There's nothing in there that's really had any issues. Like I said, I just get these tiny little tears in there, and then if I hit something big, it's pretty much just, I guarantee that it's gonna blow out, but basically I just need to stop running into trees, and so should you. So here's the jacket that I wore the most, which is an old L1 Legacy jacket. I can't remember what year this is, but I do remember this colorway. They brought it forward but changed one of the pockets, which I think it was the breast pocket on this. So this might be 7 or 8 years old at this point. This jacket has clocked 100 days a year for every year that I've had it at least. And it still looks good. It's got some sun fade on the shoulders from being out there. The waterproofing has pretty much died on it at this point. I don't know if I could bring it back if I tech washed it. But the cool thing is, even though there's like minor scuffing on the surfaces of it, and you know, the wrist gaiters have seen better days, when you start looking at it, by and large, it's still in relatively great shape. Like this jacket, you know, I wore this almost every day and it always held up. It never really failed on me. It is a 10/10 rated jacket, you know, so it's not the most technical piece, but for Colorado, it really, really worked. This thing has seen a lot of great days. It's ridden a lot of product with me. And the only reason I really retired it was I was like, you know, it's just not staying waterproof anymore. And even with tech wash, I don't know if I'd be able to bring it back. So it was time to pick up something new. This is the L1 Highland jacket. I actually got this in the spring of this year just because L1 shipped so late with all the shipping issues that were going out there. It maybe has 25, 30 days on it. I know that this is gonna last. You know, I mean, the wrist gaiter is barely broken in. I've got like a minor tear in that seam there. That's pretty much like my only gripe on it, is it just popped one little seam. That's a really easy fix. Otherwise, the waterproofing's still good. It is a 2020 rated jacket. You never really have to worry about staying dry in it. It's got a little bit of insulation to it. This is gonna be my new daily driver jacket for probably the next 5 years, hopefully. Hopefully I get at least 5 years out of it, like I did with my last one. In case you guys can't tell, I really do love L1 outerwear. I've been wearing it almost exclusively for 16 years. It's just what I personally like for my style. They make stuff that not everyone's gonna have. I did have to order this from Canada from a store called the Shop Up Top in Ontario. And they did a great job of getting this to me right away. I'm super happy to pick it up. Finally, we have my 686 Bedouin jacket. It's basically an overgrown hoodie that's a little waterproof. It's only 1000 rated. And it's got a little bit of insulation. This is kind of my pre-season, post-season jacket, you know, when it's warm out and stuff. I've blown out the wrist gaiter big time there. I've got a small tear on the sleeve, which I'm not surprised because it's sweatsuit material. You can actually see where the hood is, how dark it used to be to how much it has actually faded these days. Overall, this is just a good jacket that I throw on when I need something that's a little more lightweight, breathable. It's got snaps, but it's still insulated. I did blow the seam out on the inside right there. I actually had to sew that back up, but it does have zip pockets. It's nothing mind-blowing to it. It just gets the job done for when I need something quick and light and simple for days where it's a little bit warmer. So overall, you can tell I have a slight addiction to L1 outerwear, and this isn't even all the L1 stuff that I own. I've got multiple older stuff that's just stockpiled that I'll bust out for retro occasions, but I've been wearing it for 16 years. I know that it works. I really like it. Not everyone has it. Some of the stuff, it does tend to blow out in certain spots. I lose some of the seams and whatnot, but the waterproofing tends to hold up. Overall, it's been good. You know, the Dino Flush from Air Blaster is solid. That 686 Bedouin jacket, another good option just for a lightweight jacket. But as you can tell, like, outerwear, if you really take care of it, will last you the longest, and you don't need to be replacing it with every season or just because some influencer tells you you need to have the next best thing. I mean, I like buying stuff that's a little more timeless so that when I do wear it, I can get multiple seasons out of it. If you look at this stuff, this would look good for me just going around town as well as being up on the hill, and that's something you need to consider. And the other thing is, you know, durability. You do pay for what you get. I mean, if you notice, most of my stuff was 20K with a few pieces that were 10 other than the spring stuff. And that stuff is designed for specific needs, and all the higher end stuff works very well. If you take care of it, you tech wash it, you re-waterproof it, and you're not just abusing it, you're going to be able to get multiple seasons out of your outerwear. And if you're handy with a needle or at least like a sewing machine, you can sew up anything if you rip it and take care of it, and you're going to get more seasons out of it. By and large, I think outerwear is the one piece of equipment that I just tend to carry forward year after year after year so that I don't have to be like on the hunt looking for something to see how it fits. I can just be like, hey, it worked last year, it's going to work again. And then, you know, what the cool thing is with L1, they tend to carry their jackets for multiple seasons before they offer a new version of it, so the fits are always the same. I can just go in and get another one and be ready to go. Anyways, hopefully your outerwear isn't super trash and you do take care of it, but if it is super trash, maybe you should replace it. Hopefully this video taught you a thing or two. You learned some stuff. If you did, leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this video. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.